This Premier League Matchday 34 and FA Cup semi-final picks edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at underdogfantasy.com, promo code PLGP to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Thursday, April the 24th, and we are here to handicap a weekend of 7 Premier League games and 2 FA Cup semi-finals thrown in there as well for good measure. Joining us from somewhere in Nottinghamshire is Mr. Barry Penaluna. Baz, have you been out tonight? What's been going on?
I've been out, yeah. It was a retirement bash for someone I work with. But I've been very sensible, actually. I've had 2 gin and tonics, and that was it. I've been very disciplined, just because, laser focused on this sort of stuff. So
yeah, absolutely.
You know me.
Nothing says laser focus more than 2 gin and tonics. What was the right? So I'm going to ask some questions here. Was it at a pub?
It was at a pub, yes.
Was it? Did you just go to the pub, or was it like an organised doing?
Oh, no, it was
the sectioned off
room.
a bit of the pub.
Yeah, function room. There was a DJ and speeches and all that.
Was
sort
it
of
DJ?
Stuff. Oh, aye, DJ, dancing, all of that.
What was the tunes like?
I don't know. I didn't take any notice. I didn't
Fucking
dance.
hell, the last time I saw a DJ, I wrote down all the songs from the Fat Lady Swimming in Wallsend Baths, if you remember. And you can't even do that. Right, okay.
Couldn't name a single
buffet?
song.
Was there a buffet?
Chip butties.
Chip butties, just chip butties.
Yeah. I didn't get involved in that. You know me. That's not for me, that is it.
Well, chip butty?
I didn't fancy it. I'm being good at the minute.
I don't mind a chip butty. It's just I would like to choose a chip butty. I don't know if I'd like to be forced to have a chip butty.
Different.
Interesting.
I didn't have any. I came home and had some chicken tikka with rice, and I made a lovely little yogurt. I blended up some yogurt with coriander, 1 green chili, 1 clove of garlic. Oh, beautiful.
Did you see the new level of debauchery that I unlocked yesterday? Did you see my little tweet? No.
I mean, I wasn't. Yeah. It didn't seem anything untoward there for me. Like,
what? Well, I was quite proud of myself. There was 1 Yorkshire pudding. I air fried 1 Yorkshire pudding whilst waiting for the kettle to boil. Like I was going to pass out from hunger in the 90 seconds it took for the kettle to boil. So I air fried a Yorkshire pudding and sat and ate that. And then laughed at myself quite a lot. So much so that I ended up tweeting it out. So yeah, that was good. Enjoyed that. You don't normally come across Yorkshire puddings in the wild. You normally make them, don't you? Well, for some reason, there had been 4 just fucking cooked, I suppose, for the lamb at the weekend, and there was 1 left. So that's the 1 lonesome Yorkshire pudding that I put in the. We
had leftover Yorkshire puddings. Like, I ended up putting 2 in the bin the other day. I should have put them in the air fryer instead.
Put them in the air fryer. Well, you remember, I'll eat a Yorkshire pudding with anything. I very much enjoy a Yorkshire pudding with curry, like a chicken tikka or something on a Yorkshire. But very equally, I'll have it with custard as well. That's no problem. Like anything like that, a bit of strawberries and custard, strawberries and cream, that sort of thing. Doesn't bother me at all, that does. What are you laughing at?
It's you eating strawberries with your Yorkshire puddings.
Don't care. Don't make us laugh. I've still got a cough. Right, what's going on? The chat's live and kicking, actually, Baz. Andy's been waiting for an entire hour. Andy's been in the hot tub the whole time. So he's very much like the world's largest prune currently. Welcome along, Andy. Joe Dollar. We had some baseball chat with Joe. How you doing? Smudges here. Welcome along. Callum's joined us. Courtney. I can't remember what the Leanne Rhymes song was because I sang the wrong song the other day. How do I live without you? But it wasn't that, was it?
You said
or was
Shania
it that?
Twain. It was that, but you
Yes,
said
I said
Shania
Shania
Twain.
Twain. Wasn't Shania Twain. I got the wrong song. It was How Do I Live Without You by Leanne Rhymes. So that was put the correctness. James Mafia joined us as well. And Michael up the toffees. Connor Mack, our resident Southampton fan. He's absolute glutton for punishment, Connor. I haven't got an excuse for why Southampton didn't beat West Ham. I was all over it, kind of. No, I actually didn't. I tipped West Ham to win about 5-0, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm disappointed Conor Mack hasn't pointed out the fact that I took Southampton to score, both teams to score, and hit me winning bet. But he's just come in here to have a go
Connor.
at you.
Bloody hell.
Instead of giving me some credit, you know what I mean?
What's the name of that bloke who was moaning on Spotify a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, I can't remember what he was called. I had my greatest ever week, 8-2, and I got absolutely banned by Rob, didn't I?
Fucking Rob on Spotify is getting stuck into you for hitting 8 winning picks. Honestly, what a shit show, Barry. Right, we'll crack on because we've got other stuff to do, and we're going to talk about that now, actually, because this says tune into the SGPN NFL Draft Show, which is a live watch party for the entire round 1 of the NFL Draft, featuring all your favourite hosts and fans from SGPN. Tune in Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. That's youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. So that starts in 50 minutes from now. And the network put a sign-up sheet out for anyone who wanted to go on and do the live pick for their team, cover the pick, say whether they liked it, whether they didn't like it, what they're expecting from their team in the NFL draft. There was a space on the Excel spreadsheet next to the Jacksonville Jaguars name. So me and Barry, being the dickheads that we are, thought we'd just sign up for it. And so now we're going on that show in an hour. And Barry, I don't know a single fucking thing about the Jacksonville Jaguars or the NFL draft. So are you going to get us out the shit, or are we just going to sit there and look like idiots?
Yeah, I'm in trouble. I think we're in trouble. I mean, I'm hoping. I thought I had an hour after this show to do a little bit of research on the Jacksonville Jaguars. But you're telling me I haven't even got that. So yeah, we better get a wriggle on because I know nothing.
They're due to be on the clock at about 20 past midnight. We're not going to finish this show till midnight, 5 past midnight. So we then got 15 minutes to get the AI to tell us about. I tried to listen to that podcast this morning. I got about 7 minutes in. I didn't have a clue what the bloke was talking about. I messaged you and I said, fuck that. I know less now than when I started listening. So yeah. Anyway, it should be fun. If nothing else. Baz, where do you want to start? FA Cup that's not what we haven't covered yet, actually. The midweek games ended the week with a win in Spurs versus Forest. Got the shots on target for Tottenham, took 4.5, ended on 7. City v Villa was entirely rubbish. Wouldn't have minded the draw. Equally, I didn't mind Villa getting beat because fuck them. And then Arsenal v Palace, the main pick lost, but the corners hit the card seat. The Mateta goal cost me the 8-1 bet builder I put out. It was Arsenal to win with under 4 goals, and then the other 2 bits. But equally, actually thought Palace done all right. So that was that. So that just puts a little bow on the midweek games. Baz, did you have anything to report from those?
No, I thought Arsenal would win. Turns out Arsenal have turned it in as well in terms of league form because Arsenal weren't very good at all. And I took the over 3.5. Villa City. I thought the City result was probably all right for us. I think City have got the easiest run in of the teams in the top 5. I think City will get top 5. So probably Villa dropping points worked out all right for us, I think. But picks wise, not very good midweek.
There was pluses to be taken. Really, whatever that result finished, you could spin it positively for Newcastle, which we just decided to do by laughing at Aston Villa. Right. Did you see FA Cup or Premier League?
Premier League. I haven't even looked at the FA Cup.
All right, because you haven't. You fucking hell, Barry. So, right, for 10 minutes, this show's been going on. 6 minutes ago, Barry, I think the term you used was laser focused. Do you remember using that term, Barry? So laser focused, he's forgotten to do the 2 FA Cup semi-finals.
I've only just
in the
seen
show,
the
which very
title.
clearly, Barry, if you read at the top there, it says Premier League Matchday 34 and FA Cup semi-final pick. So on the back of 2 Europa week, where you've not bothered doing the Europa League, you've now fucking jettisoned the FA Cup. Is that what's happening?
Honestly, I told you when I come on, my handicaps are quite brief tonight because I've had 1 hour tonight in which to do it. Because I've been busy, I had kids' football last night.
You haven't been busy, have you? You've been eating chip butties in the pub.
Well, exactly. So yeah, I forgot all about the FA Cup. Funny enough, I was thinking, this is all right. I've only got 7 games.
That's only 7 games.
I didn't really think about the reason why there was only 7 games. But we'll start with the Premier League. Premier League first, and I will tell you I'll give you a winning pick for each of those FA Cup games.
Well, you've got the ad reads to sort that out, and then when we finished, while we're talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars, you can edit that out and make some picks at the end. Right, okay, it looks like we're doing the Premier League first, gang. The chat's just gone off by itself. We might as well not be here, Baz, by the way. The comment section's just doing its own thing. At this point, we are mere bystanders, Barry, while everyone talks about lower league football. Saturday, April the 26th, 12:30 kickoff, which is 7:30 Eastern time. We have Chelsea taking on Everton. Chelsea are 11-20, minus 181. The draw is 3-1. Everton are 19-4, plus 425. This is a bit weird, Baz, because Chelsea and Everton are 2 teams that are handicapped very well for 85 minutes last week, but then lost both bets. Chelsea looked like losing at Fulham, which was the pick. And then actually, I think they deserve maybe a little bit of credit for turning it around because they didn't have to. I didn't necessarily expect Chelsea to have that in their locker. And they did, and they turned it around and got the win. Everton did win. My winning pick was the under 2.5 goals. They looked like getting something for 84 minutes against Manchester City before losing 2-0 to a couple of late goals. The upshot of all of that is Chelsea are far too short to bet on with any kind of faith. You wouldn't want to back them at minus 180. You certainly couldn't back them on a handicap because Everton just aren't losing by 2-0 last week. But like I say, it was a 0-0 game for 85. I think that was an anomaly in their game log of late. Chelsea were on a run of 4 unders before that game last week, and they had the 2-2 with Ipswich before that. And the Fulham game did have under written all over it. It was 1-0, 85 minutes or whatever it was. Everton went under again, which means that's 7 in a row. So taking the unders on Everton games owes us absolutely nothing here, Baz. We've done it just about every week. If we lose one, so be it. But I don't know why you just wouldn't take it again. Under 2.5 goals. It's a good price. It's 9-10, minus 111, Baz. So I'll stay on trend with the Toffees.
Yeah, I'll just say Michael Roberts in the chat, resident Everton fan. He doesn't think much of Everton's chances, which isn't great for where I've gone. He says there'll be a shambles without Tarkowski.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. That's a good spot that Tarkowski's missing.
Yeah. I mean, Chelsea have got 3 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss in the last 6 games in the league. The 3 wins have all come by a single goal. Failed to beat Ipswich at home. Scraped past Leicester at home. And then beaten last week at home against Legia Warsaw, albeit in a game where they were already pretty much through. I think, as you say, give them a bit of credit for grinding out some results in games where they haven't necessarily been playing well. Fulham last week being a prime example. But I just still think that they look a little bit vulnerable. They're short of goals. I certainly struggle to take them at odds on with any kind of confidence. And you just mentioned the unders there. They stand out in the Everton form. 7 in a row now we've went under 2.5 goals. It's probably where I should have went. Now I've talked myself out of my pick, and I definitely prefer yours. But they've only lost 2 of the last 10 games, Everton. And that came against Man City and Liverpool. I don't think Chelsea are in good form at the moment. They're not full of goals at the moment. So I think the unders is value, 10 to 11. I did write down. I thought the unders was good value. But I just thought with Everton not losing many and Chelsea continuing to make hard work of things, I think a tight game, low scoring. I think Everton have got a chance here. Everton on the double chance for me, 13 to 10. Everton to pick up something against Chelsea, 13 to 10.
Michael's trying to claim that Beto being back will be a plus. Oh, fucking hell. I don't know what game you're watching. Listen, he might be better than Brod. Actually, old Brodger the other day, or Mando Brodger, me and Bob sat here and I said, can you, he's like, he's just centre forward, isn't he? I can't remember him ever kicking it in the goal. Like, can you? He's been here about 4 years, hasn't he? I've never seen him kick it in the goal once. It's a strike. Like, people don't kick it in the goal very often, like left backs or dog shit players. Centre forwards, that's kind of their thing. Like, yeah, we did comment that the other day. But yeah, I'm not having Beto. Beto will be great in the Championship. 32 Championship goals. But yeah, Beto is not a Premier League striker. Joe Dollar wants to know the score on the 0-0. 10 to 1, Joe. Straight up for the 0-0 draw in that one. Next up, 3 o'clock kickoffs on Saturday, of which there are 1, 2, 3, 4 3 o'clock kickoffs. The first of them being Brighton and Hove Albion against West Ham United. Brighton are 13 to 20, minus 153. 16 to 5 the draw, plus 320. West Ham 15 to 4, plus 575, plus 475, plus 375. I can't read my own writing, Baz. Brighton v West Ham.
Yeah, Brighton now no win in 5 for Brighton and no win in 6 for West Ham. So it makes this one look like a little bit of a bum fight, really. Brighton games, plenty of goals, still 10 in a row have went over 2.5 goals. And 6 of the last 7 all seem both to score as well. Just struggling defensively, Brighton. 5 straight games in a row now, they've conceded 2 or more. And that includes a game against Leicester, who hadn't scored against anybody. I think 9 of the last 10 games Leicester have failed to score, yet they still went and put up 2 against Brighton. Now, the West Ham games have been a bit lower scoring. 4 of the last 6 went under 2.5. But they've only failed to score West Ham once in their last 12. So Brighton struggling defensively. West Ham generally getting on the score here. I like West Ham to at least get a goal. That took me to both teams to score. Brighton at home, I think, will score. Unlikely to keep a clean sheet. Both teams to score 7 to 10 is a standalone pick. Is okay. Little bit short though, so I'm happy to tag on the over. Someone will get the winner here. So both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at 21 to 10, 21 to 20. Sorry, just over evens, plus 105.
Yeah, Michael's just hit us with he couldn't score in Pop World for Broja, which has made me laugh. Love a bit of Pop World. I put a little Pop World story on the screen there, which isn't for everyone's consumption, and I won't let you know who it was particularly, but he does listen to this show. So yeah, toot all aboard, Simmers. I can't bet Brighton. No win in 5. They've only won 6 of their 16 home games. Like, why would you be backing them at 1 to 2 or any of this shit? Like, they've won 2 out of 9 against the bottom half teams at home. If anything, they're a fade. Like, they're an absolute stonewall fade in this spot. All the stats. They've drawn 5 of those 9. João Pedro's suspended for being a dick last week. I think he's suspended for the Newcastle match. He'll have got 3 games for that. West Ham are rubbish. I'm bored of them. No one in 6. They couldn't beat Southampton last week. Well done, Connor. The form, this is great stat, Baz. I love this. Get this. The form against teams 7th to 13th for West Ham. Brighton at 10th. Brighton are right in the middle of that glob of teams, 7th to 13th. 6 games, 5 draws, 5 1-1 draws. That's astonishing, isn't it? So the teams have played against where Brighton sit, West Ham have had 5 1-1 draws out of 6 games in there. It's all you need to pick, Baz. 16 to 5 the draw at plus 320. And obviously, that makes it the 1-1 draw of the week, Baz.
It's Malcolm's 1-1 draw of the week. Both teams scored a goal.
And I stopped it after just 1 go through this time, rather than 2. So what an absolute legend of the game I am. Advertising. Oh, this Start cut back by about 8,000 words, which is handy for everyone. Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums, earn cashback rewards, 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGPN. Deposit $25 and Edge Boost will match the deposit. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And we're brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every draft, including the NBA playoffs and NFL draft. Props for every game. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. Easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Head to mybookie.ag. Promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. T's and C's apply. That's mybookie.ag. Promo code SGPN. Next up, 3 o'clock kickoff between Newcastle United and Ipswich Town. Newcastle are 1-5, minus 500. 11-2, plus 550 the draw. Ipswich are 11-1. Big game this for Newcastle. Obviously lost at Villa, which meant everything tightened up a little bit. We've got 4 teams going for, or 5 teams looking for 3 places. And this is one of the games Newcastle simply have to win. To give themselves the best chance. They were poor last week against Villa. We fancied them. They'd been in great form, but it was just a step too far. Villa were too dynamic. Early goal, not Newcastle, never got going. They've got a full week of rest, and they get their manager back, which you don't often see, because old Eddie's out of hospital, and they get their manager back. And I saw some people, it was probably a little bit churlish after the event, because 2 weeks ago everyone was tugging off Mad Dog, but people were saying he got out-coached in the second half, or he sort of got caught a little bit cold by Emery in the second half last week, Tyndall. But Eddie Howe's back, so that won't happen again. Last 2 home games for Newcastle, they put 5 past Palace and 4 past Man United. Ipswich got hammered by Arsenal last week. It was entirely uncompetitive. They've played 9, lost 9 against the top 5. 7 of them they lost on the handicap. And they conceded at least 4 goals in 6 of those 9. So again, everything's pointing towards these picks. Newcastle team total of over 2.5 is a better price than Newcastle to cover the handicap. Newcastle are 4-6 to cover the handicap, but they're 4-5 to score 3 or more. Like I say, Palace and Man U, fairly solid comps. I think Gordon will get back in the team. I think we need to freshen it up a little bit. He's been running with the same players, but manager back, full week of rest. Ipswich is shit. Newcastle team total over 2.5 is 4-5, minus 125.
Yeah, same pick. I mean, you've just put all the reasons. We've scored 15 in the last 4 home games, 5 against Palace, 4 against Man United, 4 against Forest. Putting up plenty of goals at home. And Ipswich, I mean, relegation's inevitable now, or likely to be confirmed here. And they've been conceding plenty. They've conceded 13 in the last 5 games. Arsenal and Forest both put up 4 against them. And you've just mentioned their form against top sides. Even Man United and Spurs put up 3 and 4 against them, respectively. So, I think Newcastle get the job done. And the recent goals record for Newcastle led me to the same pick. Team total, Newcastle to score 3 or more at 4-5.
I'm not going on Saturday. I've donated my ticket to Craig and his little kid visiting from Thailand. His kid's never been to the match before. He's about 6 years old, I think. So being a magnanimous gentleman, I'm letting Craig take his boy for the first time. So I hope we get a good win for them too. 3 o'clock on Saturday is Southampton taking on Fulham. Southampton are 4-1. The draw 29-10 plus 290. Fulham are 13-20 minus 153. Baz, you got any good news for Connor here? Are they getting a win?
I'm afraid not. I mean, Fulham the positive. Fulham have dropped off a little bit in recent weeks. 4 defeats in the last 5, including the FA Cup game. Though they have had a tough run of games and probably really should have come away from something against Chelsea last week. Southampton have shown a little bit more lately, and as I said before, it's coming from a low bar, but 2 draws in the last 4 games, and they've only failed to score once in the last 6, so they have been getting on the score sheet. Obviously, probably a bit easier now because the pressure's off once their fate was sealed. And nothing really matters anymore. They do need a point still to avoid being tied with Derby as the worst team in Premier League history. How much of a motivation that is, I don't know. The conclusion I came to here is I think Fulham aren't as bad as their most recent form suggests, whereas Southampton are exactly as bad as their form suggests. I think Fulham should win this one, but I wouldn't rule out Southampton getting a goal again. Fulham were a little bit short, but I thought if you could tag on the over 1.5 goals, so Fulham to win and more than a single goal in the game, 10 to 11, that's where I've gone here. I think Fulham will win, but we'll take the 1-0 out of the equation. Fulham win and over 1.5 goals at 10 to 11.
That, Barry, is a little arse sniffer there. I like that. Southampton did shoot up to 11 points last week with that draw at West Ham. They've scored in 5 of the last 6 games. You're right to point that out. Terrible at home. Well, just terrible. Lost 13 of 16 at home. But Fulham, 2 defeats in a row. They beat Liverpool. Great result. And they're in good form. And then they've lost 2 in a row. There's nothing in that form line, either away from home or against the bottom 6, that wants me to pick them to cover a handicap particularly, or score 3 goals. Because that's where you've got to go to get a good price. If you want to back Fulham, you have to take the handicap, or you have to take a bigger team total. The fact that Southampton keeps scoring helps us out here, because I'm going to take the both teams to score and over 2.5 at 11 to 10 plus 110. I'm going to give Southampton a goal, but Fulham can nick it 2-1. Final 3 o'clock on Saturday is Wolverhampton Wanderers taking on Leicester City. Wolves 13 to 25, minus 188. 31 to 10 the draw, plus 310. Leicester are trading at 5 to 1. 5 wins in a row now for Wolves after that victory at Old Trafford last week, all the way up to 15th. They've been very, very good. Against the bottom 5 teams, they've won 6, drawn 1, and lost 2. Now, Leicester weren't that bad against Liverpool. They gave it a little go. They made a couple of half chances, eventually went down 1-0. They scored twice in their last away game against Brighton. And I saw enough against Liverpool to suggest they can get a goal here. I don't think Wolves are absolutely rock solid. Their last home game finished 4-2 against Tottenham. So I'm going to give Leicester another goal. You just talked about pressure being off. Doesn't mean they're good enough to score, but the pressure thing. But I think they've got a goal in them, Baz. 9 to 10, BTTS, minus 111.
Yeah, Wolves flying at the minute. No defeat in 6. And as you say, 5 in a row they've won now. Recently seen off both Ipswich and Southampton, which are obviously decent comparison games. And Leicester just 1 point from 10 games. I know they got those 2 goals against Brighton, picked up a draw. But outside of that, they failed to score in 8 of the last 9 games now. It didn't take long for me on this, purely because of where I went on the last game. I got to this one and thought exactly the same thing. I think Wolves will win. And I think tagging on the over 1.5 goals to get you a better price was the way to play it. So Wolves to win and over 1.5 goals is 4 to 5. So that's where I've went. I think Wolves will win this. I had Wolves down for a 2-0 or a 3-0, but you want to give Leicester a goal, that's your business.
Are you just going to pick that every game now you've discovered it? Is that a new thing?
No, just those 2. That's it.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm just discussing Leicester there. Jamie Vardy going to leave. And is he not the lower league chat that's been going in the comments here? Is he not the most Wrexham fucking signing you can think of? Like,
yeah, Dan in work today, I was speaking to someone about it.
Did you?
And that's exactly what I said. He'll end up at Wrexham.
It just fits, doesn't it? Like, he's a bit of a dick. Like Paul Mullin.
Fits exactly that, yeah.
Category, yeah. Bit of a dick, wind-up merchant. Those TV nonsense will want to get more celebrity shit involved. It just stinks of Wrexham. Absolutely stinks of Wrexham. Andy is dead against it in the chat. Over my dead body, he reckons. Over
Jamie
his
Vardy
wrinkly,
signs
pruny body.
Yeah, you'll get Jamie Vardy signing and a Red Bull sponsorship deal at the same time. Someone daft like that.
Full Mullen is class, according to Randy. Yeah, right. We'll revisit this when Vardy signs for Wrexham in the summer. Okay, let's move on. I'll tell you about Underdog Pick'em. Now you can play any sport, win up to 100 times your money. Use our code, which is PLGP, to get a special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code PLGP. And Rhythm is your home for AI-backed picks and props, now live for Major League Baseball. They've got models for NBA and golf as well. A couple of really good deals at the minute with Rhythm. 25% off a monthly subscription with the promo code SGPN25, or 50% off an annual subscription with the promo code SGPN50. That's RITHMM, promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50. Move across to Sunday for the last two games of Premier League action here. 2 o'clock kickoff is Bournemouth taking on Manchester United. Bournemouth 4-6, minus 150. 3-1 the draw. 7-2 plus 350. Man United, Baz.
Yeah, no, I love to fade Man United as much as anyone, and have done so most weeks recently. And you know, Man United have struggled against Bournemouth recently. I think no win in 3. I'm sure Bournemouth have got a couple of 3-0s, although they were both at Old Trafford. But I can't have Bournemouth at 4-6, I'm afraid. I mean, they've won 1 of their last 8 games. They've lost to Ipswich, lost to Wolves. They've managed to drop points against Spurs and West Ham. So teams down the bottom end, where Man United are, have gone to Bournemouth recently and got something. It's just not the sort of form that makes you want to take a team at 4-6. They might well win, but I just don't think you can take them at that price. Now, we know Man United are going to have their mind on midweek. They showed last week. They no longer care about what happens in the Premier League. It's all about the Europa League. So maybe they have checked out in terms of Premier League, but it just wasn't enough for me. Bournemouth's home form also as well is not very good. 1 win in 7, and they've lost 5 of the last 7 home games now, Bournemouth. I just think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Bournemouth have just seen out a 0-0 and a 1-0 in their last 2 games. Man United have scored only once in their last 4 games. I think Bournemouth might nick it, possibly, but it's going to be something like a 1-0. I think low scoring. So I'm going to take the under 2.5 goals. It's 6-5 here between Bournemouth and Man United.
Same pick, Barry. Under 2.5 goals at 6-5 plus 120. I'd really tried my very best to get on Man United at 7-2 because the price is too big, isn't it? But it's too big because they're going to play the under 8. Remember, because they won a football match 2 weeks ago, they're allowed to just not fucking try for a bit. Everyone's fine with it. We're fine. The media are fine. The manager's fine. The players are fine. Supporters are fine. Just do what you fucking want, lads. Don't try. It's absolutely fine. You can't back Bournemouth, though. They kind of stopped the rot with a win in 2 draws in the last 3. But the form wasn't very good. It was 0-0 against 10-man Palace. The 1-0 against Fulham was weird, where they scored in the first minute, and that was the end of that. And then the 2-2 v West Ham's not strong form. So even the results they have picked up don't make you want to. Apparently, Courtney and the Backus family aren't happy with Man United just being able to not win every week. You must be the only ones then, because everybody else appears absolutely fine with it. It's just an absolute non-event, this game. Complete and utter non-event. No one cares. Under 2.5 goals at 6-5 plus 120. I want to throw out the 0-0 draw, Baz, at 14-1. This is very easily could be a 0-0 draw because no one's fucking bothered. So yeah, now teaching this one. 4:30 Sunday afternoon. I'm sure we'll all be tuning into this with glee. Liverpool take on Tottenham Hotspur. Liverpool are 1-4 minus 400. 19-4 plus 425 the draw. Tottenham Hotspur are 9-1. This is me in it, Baz. So yeah, Liverpool title party potentially here should they get the win against Tottenham. Tottenham do have a cup semi-final on deck. They are also not allowed to get. They're allowed to care a bit less, I think. I think they have to try a bit more for some reason. I don't know what the rules are. I think Ange's probably fighting for his job. He needs to show something. even in normal circumstances, you'd expect goals in this game. You'd expect Tottenham to get beat 7-2 or something. That's about a normal score would be 7-2 to Liverpool in this game. We did this in the away game. What did this finish the other way around? 6-3 or something?
6-3 Liverpool won. Yeah, it was 6-3.
6-3.
Yeah.
I mean, Tottenham, this could be a madness. Tottenham conceded in 4 minutes against Forest on Monday, twice in 15 minutes, plus a disallowed one. They conceded in 30 seconds the week before against Wolves, twice in 38 minutes, 4 overall. Liverpool are going to launch a big old cavalry charge here in this one. Over 1.5 first half goals, Baz, is 5-6, minus 120. We even have the safety net there. Tottenham might bother scoring one. You never know. But yeah, first half mayhem. Over 1.5 first half goals, 5-6, minus 120.
Yeah, that'll do for me. I think surely there's only one outcome, isn't there? Liverpool at home with a chance to win the title in front of their own crowd. And as you say, Spurs focused on midweek and Europa League action. You just can't see any way Liverpool don't get it done. And although Liverpool have been a little underwhelming recently, and they only need a point here, I just can't see them not going out and getting a few goals here. And it becoming you just see it becoming a bit of a party atmosphere for them. Once the pressure's off and they get the first goal, I think they could really hit Tottenham, who are a mess defensively at the moment. You mentioned the reverse fixture, 6-3 to Liverpool. They also played in the League Cup, and at Anfield, Liverpool ran out 4-0 winners there as well. Liverpool haven't ran out many big scores on teams, certainly in the second half of the season, but they've done it twice against Spurs. So there was 2 things I liked. I thought the handicap at first. I think Liverpool will win comfortably, but -2 is the Asian handicap, so you need them to win by 3. And I can see Spurs getting a goal from somewhere. So if Liverpool are going to win by 3, then just take the over 3.5 goals. Liverpool might do it themselves. But yeah, same as you. I've gone for goals, but I've gone for match total. Liverpool v Spurs over 3.5 goals at 4-5.
Yeah, I could see them just getting this done in the first half and wrapping, like the last 25 minutes, just kind of completely and utterly dropping off.
Potentially.
So there you go. Right, the big question is, Barry, in the preceding 38 minutes, how much FA Cup work have you managed to get done?
Oh, I've got a 3-word handicap for each of them. I'll just tell you what's going to win.
3-word handicap, right? This could be a new section. Barry's 3-word handicaps. Right, we're going to transition seamlessly to the FA Cup, where one of us, where I've got 2 really well-researched losing picks.
Well, there you go. You can lead off on both of them, and I'll just tell you my pick at the end.
Tell you where I've gone wrong. Yeah, you can correct me. So the first one is 5:15 on Saturday, which is 12:15 Eastern. Both of these games are at Wembley, neutral venue. If any of our American or Canadian cousins didn't know, Crystal Palace take on Aston Villa. Palace 23-10 plus 230. 12-5. Nah, is that right? Yeah. Plus 240. The draw. And Aston Villa 15-13 plus 115. I had a little look at the 10-year trends about this because being at Wembley, people go on about the big pitch and people getting tired and all that. The 10-year trends in Cup semi-finals does lean towards the over in this competition. So hopefully we'll get a couple of good games. It's not like we had those League Cup finals where you got a history of 0-0 draws and shit like that. These games have been all right. So hopefully get a couple of good games. Both these teams played tricky games in midweek. And to be honest, I'm slightly more impressed with Palace than Villa. Thought Palace might completely and utterly phone it in. But they didn't. They got a decent 2-2 draw. They didn't rest too many players. Mateta sat out. But he said... But is that thing on Mateta I said necessary? Like, he's got a bit of a bad ear. You'd think if he unhooked that, his entire head would fall off. It appears to be keeping his entire head on his shoulders. But just a little elastoplast. A little dinosaur plaster would do, wouldn't it?
He could have just done what Donald Trump done and just had that little elaster plaster. You know, when Donald Trump actually had a bullet go through his ear, allegedly had a bullet go through his ear. I'm not sure. Just that little elaster plaster would have been fine, wouldn't it? That would have been okay.
Attacker's got his head completely and utterly attached by an elaborate system of pulleys. Good goal he scored the other night. What are we talking about? Right, okay. The head-to-head game, head-to-head this season, 2-2 and 4-1. So there's more hope for goals. Palace, over 2.5 goals in 47% of their games. Villa, over 2.5 goals in 65% of the games. And the price is big enough for me to stick there. Those stats, the head-to-head, the FA Cup semi-final history, it just all says 2.5 goals, and it's 4 to 5. It's not a bad price, Baz. It's not egregious. It fits in. So I'll take an entertaining game. I hope Palace win, to be fair, because why not? But yeah, over 2.5 goals, Baz. 4 to 5, minus 125.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine, but Villa will score at least 2 of them. I've got the Villa team total at 11 to 10. 11 to 10 for Villa to score 2 here. I like that. As you say, 2-2 in the one of the head-to-heads, wasn't it? But Palace conceding plenty lately. As you say, 5 against us, 5 against Man City, 2 against Arsenal. So yeah, I'll take Villa to score 2 or more at 11 to 10.
Okay, so it looks like Villa 2-1 then, Baz. The second game is on Sunday, 4:30 kickoff, 11:30 Eastern Time. Nottingham Forest against Manchester City. Some line movement report here, Barry. 3 hours ago, Nottingham Forest was 7-2 plus 350. They've now drifted out to 15-4 plus 375. The draw is 14-5 plus 280. City are 7-10 minus 142. Nipped in ever so slightly from minus 138. So a little bit of money around for Manchester City. I don't know why that is. Oh, I tell you what, I've done the banner, Barry, and I've wrote Forest v Man United. Must be subliminally still in my head. Let me change that on the slide. There you go. Look at that. Fixed it. Excellent win for Nottingham Forest against Spurs. They seem to be a little bit of a fork in the road on Monday night. Forest could easily have gone wrong, and it didn't. They were great. They were 2-0 up early on. Held Tottenham at arm's length for the majority of the game. Got it done. They've only lost 2 of 6 against the top 3 teams. 5 of those 7 went under 2.5. So if you want under 2.5, I wouldn't argue with you. They beat City 1-0 back on March the 8th. So the recent form is in Forest's favour as well. Man City are looking a little bit better, but still not hugely convinced with them. They've won 4 and drawn 2 in the last 6. But they scraped past Villa late the other night. They scraped past Everton late on Saturday. They were very dodgy at home to Palace the time before that. I just think they're too short. And I've sat and watched Forest enough times this season. You write them off at your peril, Baz. They can defend properly and they're dangerous going forward. So fuck it. I'm going to take Forest here. Forest is an underdog at 15-4 plus 375.
Yeah, well, I like how you said you wouldn't argue with anyone taking the unders, because that's where I've gone here. I think under 2.5. Hard to take a side. I think you're right. Forest possibly the better value. If City win it, though, you don't see them run up a big score against Forest. Forest won't let that happen. So, yeah, I like the unders at evens for me between Spurs and Forest. Forest and Man City.
The majority of the chat is everyone wants Forest in there other than Man City, which is fair enough. Right, okay, Baz. Not a bad effort for you with a little 3-word comment. Did you have time? If it wasn't too much bother, have you picked any exotic things today at all?
I've got some exotics, yes. I'll kick off on mine now. Give us a second. I've got to timestamp my chapter so I can put that in YouTube afterwards. I'll go off with my lock then. Newcastle team total. Newcastle are going to score 3 or more at 4-5 against Ipswich. My underdog's going to be Everton to beat Chelsea at 19-4. Sorry. Scorer. I don't like how you said you think Gordon will come back in, because I've gone for Harvey Barnes here. Barnes on fire for Newcastle at the minute. 13-10. Anytime scorer. and 11-2 first and last. Aka. My Aka is a little one. Me call me pie Aka is only a 2-1, and it's Wolves, Newcastle, and Fulham all to win. So that's the bottom three all to lose at 2-1. And then my stake and Stilton Aka is a massive cards treble. We hit 2 out of 3 last week, so I've gone back to the cards again. I'm going to start off with Spurs. I'm going to go Bentancur at 15-8 to get a yellow card. Van Hecker for Brighton, 9-2 Van Hecker. I like that one a lot. And Keane, Michael Keane for Everton, 130, 67-1, the treble. So again, I'd recommend taking the doubles and the treble. And if we hit a couple, we'll get a decent payout. But that's Bentancur for Spurs, Van Hecker for Brighton, and Keane for Everton at 67-1.
That Van Hecker, Baz, he's a bit of a twat, I've decided. He's a bit of a sly get, like, the more I've watched him. He's a niggly, like, I think because he's Northern European, he's got blonde hair, everyone just thinks he's all right, but he's not. He's a bit of a nasty bastard. I've seen him twice up here. FA Cup and stuff. My lock is the unders in Chelsea Everton. Now, I didn't know about Tarkovsky, I'll be honest with you. So a fly in the ointment there thrown in by the boys earlier on. But I'm going to stick with it. Everton, someone will defend properly for them. They're good at that. Under 2.5 at 9-10. My dog, it's going to be Forest in the cup. Love it. Plus 375. 15-4. Corned beef pie Aga is to both teams to score double. Pays all right. Southampton, Fulham, and Wolves, Leicester. That pays 9-4, roundabout, plus 234. My stake in Stilton Aka is a goal scorer treble, Baz, which is going to be Jared Bowen, Jorgen Strand Larsen, and Richarlison at 40-1. Stuck Richarlison in there for Tottenham. And my anytime goal scorer is bad news for your anytime goal scorer, Barry, because I've taken Anthony Gordon because he's going to play over Harvey Barnes.
You can't drop Barnes.
He can. He will. He can and he will. They need to freshen up a little bit. It was ably demonstrated last week. Get your best players in there. And Anthony Gordon's is one of his best players. We need to win. Gordon's 5-1 first and last. Anytime goal scorer is 6-5 plus 120. Baz, do you have anything else to tell the people about before we let them go?
I can tell you, we've got an hour before we've got the draft starts. You're saying it starts at midnight. It's 1 a.m., which is what I told you. Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell.
And there's a chance. There's a chance Jaguars may trade away their pick for further down the first round, which would scupper us. We could be up till 3 o'clock in the morning.
So we're going to stop up till 3 o'clock in the morning to make fools of ourselves for what essentially was just a laugh. Just a little mild silliness, something we didn't want to miss out on. Joe's give us the SP here. Defensive line, apparently.
John Coffey has even given us a name.
If you want to be funny, go with a quarterback. Okay.
I was hoping to gloss over the fact that I don't have a ladder, but Lee Smith has grasped me up in the chat. Honestly, snitches get stitches, Lee. No ladder this week. I've been too busy. No ladder. There was only 7 Premier League games, so we'll come back to the ladder next week.
Thing is, Barry, you can't sit there and say you've been too busy, having previously told everyone that you haven't been too busy, that you've just sat in the pub and ate chips instead.
Being in the pub is being busy. It's not being at home behind my computer, isn't it?
It's not being busy.
You're a buffoon. Where's your ladder? Where's your slow roller?
I'm not allowed. The ladder's your thing.
You. That's because you fucked up everything you try and add in.
That is true. Yeah, that's fine. But I tried when it was if it was my job to do the ladder, I would have a ladder, wouldn't I? Right,
next week.
Right, it turns out we've got an hour and 10 minutes then to work this out. John's joined us for the last 90 seconds. John, you missed the ad reads, but not to worry. He has given us some good Jags information. Thanks, everyone, for listening. We'll probably do Sunday or Monday night European semi-finals next week. Something to look forward to. Good luck with all of your picks, and we will see you all down the road. Cheers.